On screen right now is me removing slightly less than half of all my anime ratings on Mal. Specifically, this is every rating from 4 to 7, and it ultimately encompasses 49.25% of all my ratings. I'm keeping every 8 and above rating as well as every 3 rating and below. I've always held ratings close to me. In my videos, I reference Mal scores and personally talk about things I'm very passionate about, so this usually entails talking about a show that I've given a higher rating to. But ratings, to me at least, have always served and should serve 2 types of purposes, an internal and external type. Now, I no longer really need my 4 to 7 ratings as they don't serve these purposes, and so I'm removing them. That's the short of it. The rest of this video is just explaining my thought process. If I'm missing some mysterious reason, then please let me know in the comments. I'm always keen to delta. So what makes up the internal and external reasons that I described beforehand? I have seen about 1,111 films. I do not rate the films I've seen in the same way I rate anime, so I have seen about 250 anime. Comparatively little no matter what you compare it to. I have used my scores in anime as a taste reminder and a guider. Whenever I finished a show, I would rate it and use that as a guide or reminder as to what kind of show it was like and as to how much I did or did not enjoy that show. For a long time, Space Patrol Luluko and Akira were my only 8s out of 10s. These ratings in turn led me to Gunbuster, Ava, Fooly Cooly, and Girls Last Tour. These are some of my favourite shows of all time, and none of them are lower than an 8 out of 10. I now have a fairly comparable understanding of my own anime tastes, that perhaps knowing that I felt a 6 on Boku no Hero Academia and a 5 on Monster Musume isn't going to be all that insightful. On the flip side, however, Malgraph Plus says that my least favourite genre is romance, which is one of the reasons I haven't watched classics such as Toradora, Clannad, and Karakano. Speaking of Malgraph, having sites like that, sites that take your score and try to recommend you shows based off your tastes, is appealing and really noob friendly. While it currently now just spits out a top 50 list that doesn't take my tastes into account, it's unquestionable as to if it shaped my tastes. From my experience, the site values extreme ratings more than it does slight variations on mass opinions, so it's always better for me to either really like a show or actually hate it than to just be in the middle. Therefore, I see no reason why I should keep my average ratings. Perhaps some examples are extreme in context. I'm nearly 2 points higher on average with Fooly Cooly out of 10, and 3 points lower on Liz and the Bluebird with a 5. But it's better for me to just have super extreme opinions in terms of awful to great in this recommendation system, than to provide a wide dataset of potentially conflicting smaller scores. Ideally, I'd just like to be able to keep a top 100 anime list in the same way I do with my top 100 films. This way it's less about the individual aspect needs of the anime Tano that end up making me feel like a critic and less like a passionate viewer. If you know of such a site or way, please let me know. I don't think Mal does that, or at least in a way that's very user friendly like on Letterboxd. In a tangible, albeit small way, my scores do affect the perception of a certain show. I think on bigger anime this is less so, but on those pre-1960s anime, my score of a 7 might mean a lot more than if I had just removed it. This has been one of the main points that has stopped me from removing those scores until now. I think that seriously, more people have probably seen my video on those anime than people have actually seen them, so the praise I give should speak more than a number score. Also, on really obscure anime, I don't think that a single rating, no matter how extreme, could sway that perception that much. I don't think my 7 on a 1960s anime is going to be the determining factor as to if someone watches it or not. And also, it'd probably be better for me to just write a review or make a video on it if I really wanted to have an effect on the anime. So logically, shouldn't I get rid of all my scores if this is the case? Yeah, and honestly, I wish I could do that, and I quite want to. I just enjoy being able to see a condensed list of everything I see, as well as being able to sort it into my favorites by using the scoring system. If Kitsu or whatever the other option is does do that, then I'll remove everything and use Mal as a general tracker and the other site as a top 100 list. If someone was to find my Mal before my video, which is extremely unlikely, or they did so before talking to me, they could understand more about me and my perception on anime and art than if most of them were just blank. But I believe most people's ratings on a number-to-number basis mean different things. I know people who use 10 as the penultimate of anime, and others that just use it as one of the staples of the genre. So really, that's just asking for misinterpretations. I also think that having a favorites list is more conductive to understanding than having a large sheet of scores to show. Also, Mal affinity sucks, and no one on planet Earth should use that. These are just a couple of my thoughts on it. If you do have any reasons why I shouldn't, then I'd really like to hear them in the comments below. I don't think I'll revert this decision, but I'd still like to hear the thought behind it. Other than that, I think that's everything. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter. I've been Kazimoto. Adios.